So the other day, I met Sidney Crosby, or you may know him by his more common name, which is Cindy Crosby. And it's weird who you'll see in a big city like Philadelphia, because I was just actually on my way to go see the Philadelphia Flyers play the Pittsburgh Penguins in the NHL playoffs, and I was walking through an area of Philadelphia called the Gayborhood. I know. What was I doing there? It was on the way to the game, people, and it was right through past Broad Street, and I had to go down. Anyway, just bear with me here. I like the shortest route possible. I know I could have walked around this area, and it's an actual city block in Center City, Philadelphia called the Gayborhood. Look it up. I'm not kidding. Anyway, I was walking through the Gayborhood, and I noticed this place. Had a weird name. I don't know why it was called this. It was called the Hammer Hole. And I was like, wow, that's a unique name. I wonder what they do in there. But, it's not really any of my business what goes on in there. But besides that, there was a gentleman, actually two gentlemen standing out in front of the Hammer Hole. And the one person was none other than Sidney Crosby. And I was like, holy shit, Sidney Crosby, what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be practicing for the game tonight? And he's like, yeah, I should be, but look. And he points down at his car, and there's a flat tire. And I was like, wow, that sucks for you. He was like, yeah, me and my partner here don't know how to change a tire. And I was like, well, who's your partner? And he goes over his shoulder, and I look over, and it's none other than Mike Matei. Holy shit. I mean, I know he lives in this area too, and I guess they were just, hanging out for the night. But I was like, wow, I didn't expect Sidney Crosby and Mike Matei to be hanging out in the Gayborhood. I was like, boy, that was unique, and it's whatever they want to do, that's fine. Anyway, I was like, wow, Mike, what are you doing here? And he was like, well, I'm just, hanging out in the neighborhood. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, aren't you that guy that leeches off of AVGN's fame and makes all that shitty filler content on James Nintendo Nerd's channel while he's away filming his movie? He goes, yeah, that's me, but you may know me by my more common name, which is Motherfucker Mike. And he puts out his hand to shake me. I'm like, get that out of here. That's so corny. How about I just call you bitch from here on out? And he's just like, oh, all right, I guess so. So anyways, Bitch Matei and Cindy Crosby are standing there in front of their car with the flat tire, and I'm just like, you better get that shit fixed. You only got a couple hours to game time, and they're probably practicing and wondering where the hell you're at. And he's like, well, I don't know how to do that, and it's like auto repair stuff, and it's gonna get like my hands filthy, and I just got a manicure. And I'm like, oh my god, you're about as big of a bitch as I imagine you would be in real life. So I'm just like, well, then take a cab, take a subway train, take a bus, take anything. Get to the game, you douchebag. You're getting paid millions of dollars by the Penguins. You should just show up and play the games they need you in. And he's like, I don't like public transportation. It's filthy. I have to sit with other people, and I don't like being with people who I don't know. And I'm just like, oh my god. And just as that conversation's going on, for some reason, Mike Matei's Bitch Matei's attention gets distracted, and he goes over and starts having a conversation with some guy, and he's like yelling at him. I'm like, what are you doing? And I walk over, and the guy that Bitch Matei is yelling at has an Irate Gamer shirt on. I was like, oh wow, you're one of the few people that bought one of those shirts. Anyways, Bitch Matei is going off how Irate Gamer is a hack, he's ripping off the angry video game nerd, and they worked on the characters so hard for so many years, and he just takes their fame and makes it for his own. I'm like, Bitch Matei, shut up. That is such an old topic. The Irate Gamer is so irrelevant. No one even likes making fun of him anymore. I don't even make fun of him anymore. I'm one of the most popular people that was doing that. And Mike's like, yeah, but it's not fair, and it's stupid, and I don't like it. I'm just like, shut up. My god, no wonder you and Cindy Crosby hang out with each other. You're just two complete utter bitches. And then Bitch Matei just starts crying. I'm like, why are you crying? He goes, because you're making fun of me, and you're saying things I don't agree with, and I have no way to block the words coming out of your mouth, and you just keep talking. And I'm like, look, deal with the fact that not everyone is going to like you. All right, Bitch Matei? All right? Just because I'm in front of you, speaking my mind, doesn't mean I don't have the right to do so. And then all of a sudden, Mike turns around, and he stares at this little dog walking up on the sidewalk, and the dog just starts taking a shit. And Mike just points to it and goes, Sidney, look! 2 hours later. I'm not kidding. He stood there and laughed for 2 hours after the dog took a shit on the sidewalk and walked away. And I'm like, it's not that funny. And he just stood there going, and I'm like, All right, I can't deal with this. Cindy, just get to the game because I want to see Scott Hartnell knock your head off its shoulders tonight. So anyway, I'm going to walk away, and just Cindy just starts bawling like a little baby. He goes, I don't want to go to the game by myself. It's scary in Philadelphia, and I'm in the Gayborhood, and people are bigger and meaner than me here. And I'm just like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. So I'm like, all right, since I'm going to the game and you kind of sort of know me since we've known each other for just 2 hours here, and most of that time has been watching Mike Matei laugh his ass off at a dog taking shit, you can just go ahead and walk to the game with me. So he just comes along and he's like, all right, I guess so. And we start, walking to the game, and then we notice, well, actually he notices some movie theater showing The Lion King in 3D. And he's like, oh my goodness, I didn't know they re-released this in 3D. And I was like, yeah, I unfortunately knew they did, and I really don't want to see this. And he's like, oh, come on. We got about 2.5 hours before game time, and, we can watch it real quick and then go to the game from there. I'll buy the tickets, and I'll buy you pretzel bites. And I'm like, oh, those movie theater pretzel bites are the shit. Like with the cheese dipping sauce, that really, they're way better than the nachos. I don't care what anyone says, they're way better than the nachos. Anyways, I'm like, I do love me some pretzel bites, so you got yourself a deal, and I'll still bake there for game time, so I don't give a shit. So, anyways, Sidney Crosby and I are watching The Lion King in 3D, and I'm just like, this 3D effect is really lame. This is dumb. It's really not adding anything over the original film. And then it gets to the part in the movie where Simba's dad gets killed, and Cindy just starts crying his little eyes out, and I'm just like, oh my God, are you serious? You goddamn little drama queen. And he's going, oh, it's so sad. Who's going to raise Simba now? Who's going to protect him from all the wild animals in Africa? And I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. So I'm just like, look, you're probably not going to like the rest of the movie, Cindy, so let me just go ahead and tell you, and I'm sorry if I spoil the movie for a lot of you guys out there. If you didn't see The Lion King yet, I'm going to tell you how it ends. We all know those of you who did see it, we all know that the Simba gets a love interest, which is a female lion, and they end up getting separated because the female lion gets kidnapped by some South American nationals that put her on a lion sex trade, kind of like that movie Taken. Well, anyway, Simba goes off to try and find him in the jungles of, trying to find her in the jungles of Brazil, and we all know Simba gets captured and killed and gets basically taken to some drug lord's house where he's skinned and turned into a rug in front of his fireplace. So it's a very tragic ending. It's one of the most shocking endings in a Disney movie as far as I'm concerned. And then, oh my God, Sidney Crosby hears this and he just starts crying even more, and I'm just like, oh my God. It gets to the point where it's so loud that no one else in the movie theater can hear the film, and the theater management comes in and has to kick us out. And I'm like, good, might as well just go to the game anyway. We only got about an hour and 10 minutes till the puck drops, and we're walking up to the game. We get to the stadium, and we go in, and Cindy's like, oh my God, I have to go to the bathroom. And I'm just like, all right, fine, go to the bathroom. I don't care. I'm at the game. I'm going to, sit in the stands and watch you get decimated tonight. And he walks into a women's bathroom. I guess, he wasn't looking or whatever. But anyways, he walks into the women's bathroom, and I just go screw this guy. I don't need to escort him around anymore. So I just go to my seat and I watch the game. I noticed by the first period, he's not on the ice playing with the Penguins. And the second period, he's not out. And then the third period, he's not out. And the Flyers end up winning and sweeping the Pittsburgh Penguins out of the playoffs. And I'm like, what the hell? Why didn't he come? And I just, the place is all cleared out after the game and there's no one around. I'm just like, all right, well, I should see if maybe some woman killed him for walking in the female bathroom. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. Well, there's no one around, so I'll just walk in there. And I looked in the bathroom. I opened up one of the stalls, and there's Sidney Crosby douching his vagina. True story.